My name is Evelyn Brooks. I am 71 years old. And for most of my life, I believed that if a mother loved enough, sacrificed enough, endured enough, her children would one day see her worth. I was wrong. The table was set by 10:30 that morning. I had been awake since before sunrise, my old bones aching as they always did when rain threatened the sky. I moved slowly, carefully, because one wrong step could send pain shooting through my knees. Still, I kept going. It was Mother's Day. I laid out the clean tablecloth, the white one with the small blue flowers around the edges. It had a stain in one corner that never came out no matter how many times I washed it, but it was the best one I owned. I placed the plates carefully, aligning them the way my mother once taught me. Forks on the left, knives on the right, napkins folded neatly. I even took out the good cups, the ones I saved for special occasions. They were chipped at the rim, but they were mine, and they held memories. The house smelled like baked chicken and cornbread. Greens simmered slowly on the stove, seasoned the way my grandmother used to do. No measurements, just instinct and love. The kind of food that takes time. The kind of food you make when you expect company. I had called my children the day before. First, I called Darnell, my oldest. He answered on the third ring. Yeah, Mama? Baby, I asked softly, you coming by tomorrow? I'm cooking. There was a pause. Background noise. Laughter. Yeah, Ma, I'll come. Me and your sister. Then I called Keisha. She sounded busy, distracted, typing while talking. Yes, Mama, we'll be there. Don't worry so much. So I believed them, because mothers always believe. By noon, everything was ready. I sat down in the living room and waited. 12 o'clock passed, then 12:30. I glanced at the clock again at 1. The food was still hot, but my chest had begun to feel tight. A familiar feeling, one I tried to ignore. By 2, the chicken had cooled. The greens were no longer steaming. The silence in the house felt heavy, like it was pressing down on me. I called Darnell. Voicemail. I called Keisha. No answer. I tried again. Nothing. Outside, I could hear neighbors laughing. Doors opening. Children shouting. Someone across the street hugged their mother, flowers in hand. I watched from behind my curtain, unseen. I returned to the table and sat down. Across from me were 2 empty chairs. I stared at them until my eyes burned. That's when it hit me. They weren't coming. I stayed seated long after the food went cold. Time moved strangely after that. 3 o'clock, 4, 5. I didn't cry at first. I just sat there, listening to the clock tick on the wall, feeling something inside me slowly break apart. At 6, I packed the food into old containers and placed them in the refrigerator. I folded the tablecloth, put away the dishes, tossed the flowers I had bought with my last $10 into the trash. They were already wilting. Just like me. When I finally sat back down on the sofa, the tears came. Quiet tears. The kind that don't make noise because you've cried so many times before that your body no longer has the strength for sound. I cried for all the birthdays spent alone. For the Christmases where gifts were dropped off quickly before they rushed away. For the phone calls that only came when money was needed. I cried because I was tired. So very tired. So very tired. I raised my children alone. Their father, Leon Brooks, died when they were young. A factory accident. They said it was quick. Nothing about it felt quick to me. After he died, I worked wherever I could. Cleaning offices, washing laundry, cooking in diners. I scrubbed floors until my fingers cracked. I smiled through pain because my children needed shoes, needed books, needed food. We were poor. But I loved them like my life depended on it. Because it did. I missed meals so they could eat. I wore the same coat for 15 years so they could have new ones. I never complained. I thought that love would be enough. It was nearly 10 at night when I heard the car pull up. Laughter. Voices. The door opened, and the light flooded the room. Keisha stood there first, dressed in expensive clothes, smelling of perfume and alcohol. Darnell followed, phone in hand, smiling. Hey, Mama, Keisha said casually. You sitting in the dark again? I didn't answer. Darnell glanced around. You okay? I looked at them. Really looked. They hadn't even noticed the table. The food. The effort. Keisha sat down. Darnell leaned against the wall. Mama, Keisha said, checking her phone, we need to talk. My stomach tightened. Darnell spoke next. We're short on money. Rent's behind. Bills piled up. Keisha nodded. We need about $2,000. Just till next month. They didn't mention Mother's Day. They didn't apologize. They didn't ask how I was. Something inside me finally snapped. I thought about the envelope hidden in my dresser. The one-way ticket. They didn't know. They didn't know that while they were living their lives, using me as a safety net, I had finally made a decision. For the first time in 71 years, I chose myself. I don't have it, I said quietly. Keisha frowned. Mama, don't play. You always have something. I don't. Darnell sighed. Come on, Ma, we really need this. I shook my head. No. Silence. Then frustration. Keisha stood up. Unbelievable. Darnell shrugged. Guess we'll figure something else out. They left. Just like that. That night, I didn't sleep. I thought about all the years I had given. And how little was left of me. The next morning, I looked at their social media. Trips, parties, restaurants, smiles. Then I saw it. A message Keisha had posted by mistake. She'll give it. She always does. Old people get lonely. Old people get lonely. I stared at the screen until my hands shook. Then I laughed. A quiet, broken laugh. 3 days later, I packed one suitcase. Clothes. A photo of Leon. A Bible my mother gave me. I left a letter on the table. Not angry. Not bitter. Just honest. I loved you the best way I knew how. But love should not erase a person. I am going somewhere I am not forgotten. Do not look for me. The bus left at dawn. As the city faded behind me, I felt something I hadn't felt in decades. Peace. I was still poor, still old, still tired, but for the first time in my life, I was free.